Most institutions are created to solve problems. Healthcare systems are built to improve public health. Regulatory agencies are created to reduce risk. Education systems expand to prepare societies for the future. Governments build institutions to manage increasingly complex societies. And international institutions emerge to coordinate problems that extend beyond national borders. At first, many of these systems improve stability, coordination, and growth. But something begins to change. Processes slow. Rules multiply. Coordination becomes harder. Institutions continue expanding, yet many people feel they are becoming less effective at solving the problems they were originally created to manage. So, why does this happen? This is not a new pattern. The late Roman administration grew layer upon layer of officials, each created to solve a real problem, and each, in time, becoming harder to remove than the problem it was created to manage. Long before the empire fell, the bureaucracy that was meant to hold it together had become one of the things it could no longer afford. The pattern repeats across civilizations and across time. It happens not necessarily because the people inside institutions are bad at their jobs, but because as societies become more complex, the institutions that organize, coordinate, and stabilize them must continue expanding alongside that complexity, and eventually preserving the institution itself becomes part of its function. In this episode, you'll understand why institutions in complex societies often become more rigid, less adaptive, and increasingly difficult to reform, and how institutions can gradually shift from purpose to power. So the question is, what happens when institutions become better at preserving themselves than adapting to reality? In the previous episode, we explored how complex societies become locked into paths that are increasingly difficult to reverse. Economic, political, social, and technological systems gradually adapt around existing structures, making change more disruptive the longer those structures remain in place. But once societies become dependent on those structures, another problem begins to emerge. The institutions that organize and stabilize society must continue expanding as society itself becomes more complex. As economies grow more interconnected, regulations increase. As societies become more technologically advanced, coordination demands rise. Institutions must process more information, manage more risks, and oversee more interactions across society. At first, this expansion improves stability. More coordination can solve problems. More specialization can improve efficiency. More oversight can reduce risk. But managing complexity also creates more complexity itself. More layers are added. More procedures emerge. More coordination is required simply to keep the institution functioning. And institutions originally designed to help society adapt can become slower, more rigid, and increasingly difficult to reform themselves. Not because anyone inside them intends that outcome, but because the institution is now adapting to its own growing complexity as well. As societies grow, institutions must coordinate more people, more information, more rules, and more interactions. At first, this expansion is necessary. Growing economies require financial oversight. Larger populations require more administration. Technological change creates new areas that must be regulated. International interdependence increases the need for cooperation across borders. And in many cases, institutions genuinely improve stability during this process. But every new layer of coordination also creates additional complexity inside the institution itself. More departments, more procedures, more reporting systems. More specialists needed to manage increasingly specialized problems. And institutions begin spending more energy coordinating themselves. At first, this is barely visible. The institution still functions, problems are still managed, society continues operating. But responsiveness begins to slow. Simple decisions require more approval, reforms take longer to implement. Coordination between departments becomes more difficult. Rules created to solve earlier problems begin interacting with newer rules in unexpected ways. And the larger the institution becomes, the harder it becomes to adapt quickly. This creates a structural dilemma. The institution cannot easily shrink because society has become dependent on the stability and coordination it provides. But continuing to expand also increases internal complexity, making the institution slower and more rigid. So institutions often respond by adding more layers of management, oversight, regulation, and coordination to handle the growing complexity, which can temporarily stabilize the system while making it even more complicated underneath. As institutions expand to manage growing complexity, they also gain more authority, larger budgets, broader responsibilities, and greater influence over how society functions. At first, this improves coordination, but society can become increasingly dependent on those larger institutional structures, reinforcing the need for further expansion as new problems emerge. Institutions also begin adapting to pressures inside the institution itself. Budgets must be maintained. Coordination structures must be preserved. Internal stability becomes increasingly important because disruption inside large institutions affects large parts of society around them. Careers, expertise, status, and livelihoods begin depending on the institution itself. People adapt to the structures they work within, and reform increasingly affects not just the institution, but the individuals whose lives are tied to it. A teacher enters the profession to help children learn, and gradually spends more of their week on documentation than on teaching. A doctor trains for years to care for patients, and finds an increasing share of their day absorbed by administrative requirements. The work people were called to do, and the work the institution now requires of them, slowly become two different things. This is one of the quieter costs of institutional decay. Not collapse, not failure, a gradual distance between purpose and practice. The institution no longer exists only to solve the problem. Increasingly, the continuation of the institution itself becomes part of what must be protected. It is not that institutions consciously decide to pursue power. It is that the incentives inside them increasingly reward preserving the institution, expanding coordination, avoiding disruption, and maintaining stability. And those incentives gradually reinforce institutional growth, influence, and complexity. This begins changing how institutions interact with society itself. As coordination demands rise, institutions become slower to adapt. Decision-making requires more layers, more procedures, more internal alignment. Reforms become harder to implement because changing one part of a large institution affects many other connected parts. At first, these changes appear manageable, but people begin experiencing institutions differently. A form asks for information the institution already has. A request is transferred between departments that no longer quite know who is responsible. An approval requires a signature from a role that was reorganized 2 years ago. Each step is small. None of them, on their own, suggest anything is wrong. But the texture of daily life inside a complex society starts to feel like this everywhere. And as the gap between what institutions promise and what people experience grows, frustration often grows with it. This creates another pressure inside complex societies. The institutions responsible for maintaining stability increasingly struggle to adapt to changing conditions. But at the same time, society depends on those institutions more than ever, because so many systems now rely on large-scale coordination to continue functioning. So institutions face pressure from both directions at once. Society expects them to solve increasingly complex problems, but the growing complexity inside the institution itself makes rapid adaptation more difficult. As we explored earlier in the series, institutions do not rely only on formal authority. They also depend on trust, legitimacy, and society's willingness to coordinate around them. But as institutional complexity increases and responsiveness declines, maintaining that legitimacy becomes more difficult. And once trust weakens, institutions often face growing pressure to compensate through additional oversight, regulation, coordination, and control mechanisms, simply to keep society functioning smoothly. These mechanisms can stabilize society in the short term, but they also increase institutional complexity further, reinforcing the very pressures that made adaptation difficult in the first place. This is one of the paradoxes of complex societies. Institutions expand to create stability, but as societies become more interconnected and dependent on large-scale coordination, the institutions managing that complexity must continue expanding to keep the system functioning. And eventually, preserving the institution itself becomes part of its function. This is one of the ways institutions can gradually shift from purpose to power. Once you see this pattern, you begin to recognize it in specific signals. The first is reform fatigue, when reforms are repeatedly announced, partially implemented, and quietly absorbed back into the existing structure without changing how the institution actually operates. The second is defensive expansion, when an institution responds to criticism not by adapting, but by adding new layers of oversight, communication, or coordination designed primarily to protect the institution itself. The third is mission drift, when the stated purpose of an institution remains unchanged, but the daily activity inside it increasingly serves internal coordination rather than the problem the institution was created to address. These are not necessarily signs that an institution has failed. They are signs that the institution is increasingly adapting to itself. Institutional decay does not necessarily mean institutions collapse. Many continue functioning for long periods of time. But it does mean that institutions can become slower to adapt, more rigid under pressure, and increasingly disconnected from the societies they were originally created to serve. And as this gap widens, coordination, trust, and social cohesion can begin weakening across society itself. So, what happens when institutions become less adaptive, while pressure inside society continues to grow? What happens when people increasingly lose trust, not only in institutions, but in each other? That's what we'll explore in the next episode. Institutional decay is part of TNBC Explainers, Module 4, Systems, Complexity, and Decline. This is TNBC Explainers, Understanding How the World Actually Works. Explore the TNBC Explainers course via the YouTube course list, or visit thenextbigcycle.world for the full course overview and background. This is The Next Big Cycle. TNBC Explainers, your guide to understanding the systems shaping the world around you. TNBC Explainers is a growing YouTube course. New concepts are added over time.